Hello everyone, my name is Sarah Cahill and welcome back to my channel. It is February. We have finally, after so long, reached the second month of the year. And I don't know the whole purpose of the vlog today. I have a lot of stuff that I need to do and I have a few things that I need to talk about. So we're just gonna be doing it all. I don't know. Mostly I really just want to talk about how January went, what I'm planning for February while I get some work done, because it's been a couple days since I've done any proper work, and I need to get back to it, really. First thing I'm going to do is plan for February. I haven't quite planned February out yet. My chocolate bar. Bullet journal, yes, I have sort of started doing my February spread in my bullet journal, not properly. I did some of it and then I got bored and didn't finish it completely. So we've got our February spread still going with the sort of scrapbooky theme that we have. My quote for the month of February: every day may not be good, but there is good in every day. Because I very stressed out person, like constantly. So I can't go about my day like, this is such a bad day, this bad day sucks. 4 kids in a small flat will do that to you. But there is good in every day. Just gotta keep it in memory. I have, of course, my focus and my stats, which I have not filled out yet. This I can't, obviously, because we've only just started February. But I need to decide what I want my monthly focuses and my spotlight to be. It depends on what I want to work on, really, I guess. And then literally I've just done the first week of February in regards to the decoration. I have filled out all the rest of the pages. They're just not decorated yet. That's as far as I got before I got bored. Let me organize my thoughts, because I'm once again going into a vlog or a video with absolutely no forethought into what I'm going to put into it. Let's focus on January. How did you deal with your January focuses and things that you wanted to get done, Sarah? Well, I managed to continually fill in my mood tracker for the month and my writing stats tracker, which if you know me, I suck at doing those things daily. I didn't do them daily. Sometimes I did them daily, and then sometimes I wouldn't do them for a couple of days, and I had to sort of think back to what I needed to do, but they got filled out. It's very nice to see that, you know, most of the days of the month I was either just okay or tired. That my 2 moods throughout January, I'm okay or I'm tired, basically is my entire life. Actually, let's not pretend it's not. There were only 6 days in regards to writing where I did no writing at all whatsoever, which I call a massive win in my book. You know, just not doing anything for just 6 days. Like, I am amazing and I am brilliant. I managed to do that. But I am actually being really easy on myself in regards to what I class as a successful writing day. What I call a successful writing day is having put any work whatsoever, no matter how long it is, towards actually doing something to do with one of my projects. Because most of the time I will sit there and do absolutely nothing at all. So the fact that I did something, for me, is a win. Did 5 minutes worth of work? Brilliant. Did something on a mood board? Yep, fantastic. I didn't just do mood board stuff. Like, I actually did physically do some work. Main spotlight for January, which is out of everything that I wanted to focus on this month, the main project that I was going to work on was Abingdon House, of course, because I have so much work to do for Abingdon House. I managed to reread the entirety of the series I managed to have an existential crisis over all of the work that I have to do in order to make the series 90% better than what it currently is. I managed to sort of rework all of the things I needed to rework in regards to the characters' motivations for some of the books, and regards to the villain and the villain's plan and the villain's motivation and three-dimensionalism. And I think I sort of managed to make everything make sense. I think we'll find out obviously when we actually physically start outlining each of these books properly. But I did manage to also save the cat outline books 2 and books 3, which is good. It's just books 4 and book 5 that I need to sort of basic re-outline before I start diving down and fully re-outlining all 4 of the books. And then I can start rewriting them. Hopefully at some point this year we will actually physically get started with rewriting the series. I can't see it happening in the first few months of the year, but I'll keep you updated as to where we are. The other things I wanted to focus on in January were journaling more often, in which I did not journal once. But I thought about it, so there was a little bit of focus there, so that's a win. Going to sleep early. I thought about it, and I told myself, you should really go to bed now. It's getting late. So I thought about it. I'll count that as a win. Reading regularly. I did not read regularly, but I did read, so we're going to count that as a win. Working on draft 2 of Project Mystic, aka Osasagoit. I did do that. I finished scenes 2, 3, and I have started scene... No, that's not right. That is right. It's 2... words, my God, are failing me right now. I've written scenes 2 and rewritten scenes 2 and 3, and have started, almost finished, scene 4. So we did do some focus on that as well. Fantastic, brilliant. I also had characters down for Beneath the Hawthorn Lies, as in I needed to work on my characters for that story. But then I was rereading through the beta notes I got, and as it turns out, the characters were not one of the main issues of the story. The characters and their motivations were, for the most part, absolutely fine and fantastic. So I did not need to focus on the characters specifically for that book. So I didn't do it, but it didn't need doing. So we're going to call that a win. I need to be a bit harder on myself as to what constitutes a win or what does not, because at the moment I'm just taking anything as a win, and it really shouldn't be that way. In regards to reading, my book of the month was Rule of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo. It is here. I didn't actually start reading any of this book until like the 29th of January. But I've read 204 pages of it so far. I was supposed to finish it in January. That's what I want to do. I want to focus on one book a month and read it in its entirety. But I'm just happy that I read any of it at all whatsoever, because I notoriously suck at reading books in good time and focusing on a book. Although, to be fair, I also did finish All the Tides of Fate by Adeline Grace, which is the sequel to All the Stars and Teeth. It's a duology. I did not like how it ended. It was okay. It was just okay. I'm high-key a little bit disappointed with the entire series as a whole. But I didn't feel like DNFing it at any point. So for February, my book of the month is supposed to be Amari and the Night Brothers, to assist me with, you know, rewriting and re-outlining Abingdon House, because it is also an upper middle grade that focuses on fantasy and magic and stuff like that. Will I read this book this month as well as Rule of Wolves? We shall see. I'm filming this on the 2nd, so I've only got 27 days, but hopefully I'll be able to focus a little bit more on it. I'm hoping February will just be a little bit better than January in general. I feel like my life is more settled starting from this month than it did starting at the beginning of the year. I have my shifts at work. It's a lot more hours than I'm used to doing, or that I have done in quite a few years. I'm working like 35 hours a week now. So that's 5 out of the 7 evenings, which is where I usually spend the majority of my time doing work, are gone, because now I'm at an actual paying job work instead. So all of the work that I need to do in regards to writing has to happen during the day before I then have to go to work at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, which is a pain in the butt. But the kids are at school. The youngest is full-time at preschool, so between 9 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. I pretty much am here on my own. So that is 3.5 hours for me to basically focus as much of that time as possible into work / also reading, I guess. Not that I can't read in the evening, but the evening is when I procrastinate my bedtime. So we're busy either way. But I'm hoping what's going to happen is February, now that I've sort of got my life scheduled between when I can and cannot do work, I'll get into the habit of doing work when I can do work, rather than going, I've got all day to do work, so I won't do it now, and then not do it. I'm not very good at sticking to routine or schedules. But hopefully, now that I've got the opportunity to, rather easily, I will do it, is the hope and the plan. My monthly focus and my spotlight this month, I don't know what I want to do. And I really need to figure it out, because I need to do the work. So we're going to turn to my trusty box. I literally just decided that a second ago. So at the beginning of the year, I put all my projects in this box, so I could cherry pick which ones I wanted to do per day, if I felt like it. There's only one in here now, and I don't know where the others are, and that is so annoying. Why are they not in here? Please bear with me. Last month I did not work on Project Theft, so one of my focuses this month, let's add Project Theft. I want to sort of start turning that into a trilogy, because a trilogy is sort of what I have in my head as what I want it to be. Do I have enough plot to make it a trilogy? Can I do a duology? We are going to find out. So I want to do some series work on Project Theft and sort of try and flesh out the story that I want to tell and what I need to do in order to tell it. A monthly focus will also, of course, be Abingdon House. Abingdon House always needs to be in the monthly focus, whether it is just a focus or whether it is the spotlight, it needs to be there somewhere. But since it was the spotlight last month, we'll just generally focus on it this month. We need to re-outline Save the Cat books 4 and 5, so at least those 2 minimum will be done this month. Fine, absolutely fantastic. Let's also work on my new story. Okay, look, at the beginning of 2022, I decided that the only thing I was going to focus on in 2022 was the projects I had already written, and I was only going to focus on the rewriting and the redrafting of these projects, and they were Abingdon House, Project Theft, Beneath the Hawthorn Lies, and Project Mystic. They were the 4 projects I only wanted to focus on this year in order to get them to decent stages. Not even 1 month into the year, 3 weeks, it took my brain to decide it wanted to do a new story. And most of the time I can just push my random inspired thoughts away, my brain latched onto this idea and would not stop thinking about it. Here is some atmosphere. Here is an aesthetic. Here is 2 seconds of a random scene with no context and no characters and no plot. It has latched on so tightly and will not let go. So I have a 5th project now that I'm working on in 2022, and it is a brand new project that I get to outline like I'm outlining everything else. It's just a year of outlining, and I think it's because I am just at the moment more or less re-outlining current works that my brain is like, that's not creative enough. No, that is not enough work for you. You need something else, something extra creative, and so it gave me this. We'll see how it pans out as the year continues, but it is an NA. I'm aiming for NA as opposed to YA. It's witchy. It is a witch book, which I'm very excited about, because I've never done a witch book before. Not in that sense, witch book anyway. It's got I feel like it's going to have very much Charmed vibes, sort of that witchy territory, except that also means I have to come up with yet another magic system that is different from all the other magic systems I currently have, which is the sucky part. Now, I did do some work in this for January. I created the characters, I named them, they've got face claims. I did a Pinterest board. I sort of started working on a little bit of a vague plot. I have a bunch of random scenes in my head that I want to do, so I've written them all down. I've created a Scrivener file for it and everything. It's literally Project Witch. The annoying thing about Project Witch is that it has a title. I very quickly came up with a title. I very quickly found a title for this book. It's in the Pinterest board. I read it in the Pinterest board and I was just like, that is such a good title for a book. It became the title for the book, but then my brain went, but make it a duology. So the title for the book that I have is the title of the second book, and my brain is now trying to come up with a title for the first book that, when read together with the title of the second book, forms a sentence, like a whole sentence. And for the life of me, my brain can't think of a proper title for the first book that will flow nicely into the second. So that's the problem that I'm having right now. The title for the second book is And Still We Stand. So I need something that is going to sound good with And Still We Stand. I had a thought of something like They Came For Us as the title for the first book, and then And Still We Stand. So the entire sentence would be, they came for us and still we stand. But I don't know if that quite sounds correct. So the first book needs to be something along the lines of, they came for us. And the whole point of it is to be like, you know, you came for us, but we're still here standing and you can't bring us down, sort of thing. Those sort of vibes. And it's really frustrating that I cannot come up with the title for this first book. It's so annoying. But let's end the British ramble about this title. Let's leave Beneath the Hawthorn Lies for now, because I think I'm going to have the most difficulty focusing on that story. And our spotlight is going to be Project Mystic, aka Osaseoit. So I think my brain will feel a little bit better if I am physically drafting. It might make me feel a little bit more motivated because there's physical action involved, rather than me having to sit and just think, which I get tired of very quickly and never bodes well long term for me trying to focus on anything whatsoever. I also want to try this month to work on multiple projects per day rather than just focusing 3.5 hours on one thing. So maybe employ some sort of Pomodoro method where each 25 minutes is spent on a project, and then two of them will be spent obviously on my spotlight per day. Or maybe I'll just go with what I'm feeling like working on that day. Do I feel like writing, or do I feel like doing some aesthetics, or do I feel like thinking about plot? Like, maybe we'll do it that way. But my aim is to focus on more than one thing per day. like I'm so bored of doing this, let's move on to something else. I think having drafting as a main thing to focus on, it's a different type of writing process than everything else. So it feels like I'm doing something completely different when I'm not really doing something that different at all whatsoever. Did I do any work yesterday? No. Let's put break on the first day of February. Absolutely fantastic job, Sarah. Brilliant. Way to start the month off doing absolutely nothing at all. Congrats. You did a fun job. Okay, I have done my job planning for February, which I should have done yesterday or before yesterday. Either way, whatever, it's done now. That is gonna fall over. Like, I just keep making this tower on my desk bigger. Like, this tower right here, which is my TBR pile, everything is getting shoved on it at the moment. So it's like, how high can I make this tower before it gets too in my way? But I digress. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna go, I'll read. I'll get some more tea and I'll read. That's what I'll do first before I do anything else. Let me know down in the comments below how January went for you and what are you planning to work on in February, and I'll see you in my next video. Good thoughts and happy writing.